What's up? This is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and I'm very excited to bring you this season of the Map Reading Challenge. This year I'm taking out two groups, one in Maryland and one in New York. So in this episode, you're going to be meeting up with the guys in the Maryland group and see the first half of the scouting part of the Map Reading Challenge. To begin, Andrew Penzi from last year's Map Reading Challenge group was supposed to come from Long Island to meet me at my house, and then he was going to ride down with me to Maryland. Well, that didn't exactly work out the way we planned it. And there was a gunshot way off in the woods while I'm recording this. So let's meet up with Andrew and see what went wrong in his trip to my house. And I'll also apologize. He's using a GoPro. The audio typically is awful with them, so I had to crank the audio way up so you could hear what Andrew's saying. But every time he moved his hand on the housing of the camera, it made a whole bunch of noise. So audio isn't the best. Let's meet up with Andrew and see what's going on that's preventing him from getting to my house right now.
Andrew, and I am on my way for the Map Reading Challenge. That's right, the Map Reading Challenge. If you don't know what that is, go check out Sean's Outdoor Adventures and get more info from his site. But you're missing out. You got to get caught up on the Map Reading Challenge. Anyone who's into hunting, loves the outdoors, it's the place to be. So I'm heading down to Maryland. I'm excited, and I got like tons of gear. My gear list was ridiculously long to go on camping, hunting, scouting trips. I have like 3 pages of gear on my gear list. It's kind of ridiculous. But, so I'm on my way down to Maryland, and you ask me, am I in the forest? No, I'm not in the forest. I am in the auto repair shop, because this is my reality, that my car broke down on the way and got to get it fixed. But the good news is I have ribs in the car, I have water, I have my sleeping bag, so I am all set to camp out for the night, hopefully get repaired first thing in the morning, and off I go. Back down to Maryland. We're gonna go do some scouting and in anticipation of our trip coming up. And we're meeting a new guy. It's me, Sean, Lewis from last time, and some new guy. We don't know who he is. There's a lot of excitement to try to figure out who's this new guy. Sean's very tight-lipped about it, so I don't know. He's got me a little nervous. But all we know him as is the new guy. He's the new guy. So we'll see what this new guy's all about. And either way, it's gonna be a good time. So, catch you guys later. Alright, so a quick little update I gotta give you guys. I just finished filming that last segment, and there's nothing to do. I'm just like hanging out all night. And I'm like, alright, let's just go take a look in the drainage ditch and see if there's any frogs or whatever. Just take a look. I go over there. What do I find? Not a frog. There's a mature doe hanging out right there in the drainage ditch. There's an entrance on the other side, apparently, that she walked in. How cool is that? I mean, I'll tell you, this isn't a sign of things to come this season. I don't know what it is. That was just like unbelievable timing to see that doe right there. So that was really great. It lifted my spirits. Hopefully I get a quick repair in the morning, and I am on my way. All right, nothing will deter me from this mission. All right, guys, take care. We'll see what else comes out tonight.
You made it!
That's well done.
A day late!
It was a challenge getting here, but it is good to finally be here, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
The car survived.
Wow, there was nothing that was going to deter me from the Map Reading Challenge. So, yeah. I don't understand what happened, but we're rolling again, so. Good. So I was saying, thanks for waiting for me, because I was a little concerned at first if you, Lewis, and the new guy were all waiting for me to go. I was feeling...
Well, as you just saw, Andrew got to my house. We jumped in the car and started to head to Maryland. And then I needed to check in with the new guy who's going to be meeting up with us. Jason Farmer.
Sean McVeigh!
What's up?
What's happening?
How far out are you?
99 miles. But they just texted me and said they saw a big rattlesnake, which is wonderful, because I hate freaking snakes. I'm not scared of snakes, I just hate snakes. Just clarify that.
As soon as we got to Maryland, we met up with Lewis, and we were headed to where we were going to set up base camp. On the way there, we see this adult rattlesnake stretched out across the road, so we pulled over to get a little footage of it. I don't want you getting bit.
Oh, what, he's gonna lurch at me from over there? I'm an expert snake handler.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Wow.
Look at those rattles. All right, boys.
That's cool.
It's confirmed.
There are rattlesnakes.
There are rattlesnakes around.
Wow. Alright, it's pretty wild, man.
All right. Don't get too close.
Wild America.
Put your seatbelt on.
Of course.
So what was your reaction to the rattlesnake there?
It was wild, man. That was really cool. Cool but scary to see that. Because, man, he blends in good.
Yeah, they do. And we were all, you know, within 10 feet of it, and he never sparked up the rattles at all.
Yeah, that's even scarier.
Yeah.
That was neat to see, though.
I told you last year, and I'm going to remind you guys again before we get in the woods, that you have to be very alert and careful of the rattlesnakes out here.
Well,
and
I
that
brought
is
my
proof.
bear spray, but I forgot the rattlesnake spray. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
As long as you got rattlesnake boots, you're in good shape.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to go buy some real quick.
So after we got to base camp, it's intro interview time. These two must have coordinated in advance, because if you didn't notice, they're both wearing the same shade of blue for a t-shirt. All right, Andrew, where are you from?
Andrew Penzie from Comac, New York.
All right, you're back.
Yeah.
Back in action. Tell me what's going on, man. What are you thinking?
I'm psyched to be back. I mean, I feel like it's my home away from home. So, looking forward to another great season. Excited to get out scouting. Of course, it's another hot day to scout in, but it's okay.
What's your name?
Louis Brennan from Laurel, Maryland.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So excited to get back on the ground, do some scouting. I'd rather be going hunting, but scouting leads to hunting, so
That's what
this
Andrew
is where we're
said.
at.
All right.
It's a hot one.
And as we just saw on our way in, that rattlesnake was on the road. So you definitely got to make sure you're watching out for them. Get a nice long stick, make lots of noise. We're scouting, but you want to make a lot of noise so they hear you coming. All right, guys, come on over here a second. As I said, we're doing some new stuff this year. We got new hats.
Yeah. Awesome. Nice. Nice. Thank you.
Wait, let's see. This one has Lewis's name on it.
Perfect. Thank you. Stand right here.
Andrew,
Nice.
the map reading challenge, baby.
That's good because the orange was, scaring the deer last
Yeah,
year.
that's why you
did.
That's why you only shot a deer the first night.
That's
because you had orange on there. The map reading challenge is the new hat, ladies and gentlemen.
Feels good. It's gonna happen. I like it.
How do you like them apple?
That's cool, man.
I like it. I like it.
With just 1 hour, we quick ran to our spots to do a brief scout before the new guy Jason got there. Here's a little footage from that.
So scout day number 1, only have about, 45 minutes to an hour. So I figured I would take the easiest one to cover that I had marked out, which is essentially, you can see it in front of me, behind me. It's kind of a fire road, essentially. Access road, although it doesn't get a lot of use. As soon as I walked in, saw a lot of deer scat on the ground, which is good. I didn't pull out the camera for it because it's just scat. So this turns into, this kind of touching the side of the mountain as an access trail, and then turns into a spur that runs down. There's a bench area at the bottom of that, or near the end of that spur, that I wanted to check out. I had marked on my GPS a clear cut at the top of this one. It was not a clear cut anymore. So well, that's a bit of a downer. I walked all the way to the end. Yeah, and that was a couple saddles out. It was an open area. a clearing, a couple saddles. Or one big saddle in there I wanted to check. So I gotta get back to the boys. So up the hill we go.
While Lewis was running up and down that trail, I found Bear Haven. I mean, there was bear sign everywhere. It was almost concerning. The bear uses this trail so regularly and puts its paw print or paws down in the same spots every time that it's actually worn smooth. And it hasn't rained, as I said. Right in there. It's a big paw print right there. Bigger than my hand. This turned out to be so much bear sign. I'm walking up that bear trail. 2 more piles of bear scat. That's like pile 8 and 9. And yeah, this is definitely a bear haven. Just a few feet more walking on the bear trail, and there's an old orange reflector tack. I always look at how much rust is on them to try to figure out how old they are. That one looks to be a few years old, but looks like I'm not the only person who has been up in here. I've just got to the waypoint that I specifically came here to check out, and there is a rubber glove right there, most likely from somebody gutting a deer right here. And I just checked the tree, the closest tree to where my waypoint was, where I could get a tree stand, and it's probably about 15 yards behind me. So it looks like I picked the right spot, but so has somebody else. But there's a good chance it was a gun hunter. You know, doesn't necessarily mean anybody will be in here during archery season. We shall see. Depends if I decide to come back here or not. This is definitely a gun setup here. You see with these old makeshift blind here. It's a good area right in here, but it's the way this is set up. It's good for a gun hunter to be able to shoot down through here. This was logged off many years ago, and it's grown in thick since. But probably earlier on, when it was still opened up more, that would have been a really good stand or, you know, location for a gun hunter. See, this is so thick in here now. That's like 3 feet tall, the brush, and you can't really shoot over that or see over that too well from a ground blind scenario with a gun or a bow, either one. I call it the wisdom of the elders. Sometimes when you find a hunting spot, I've seen a lot of signs of success so far. Well, the new guy, Jason, was making way better time than I expected. So I was about a mile back in the woods and found out he's getting close. So I turned around and started jogging back to the car so that he wouldn't end up sitting there waiting forever. While I'm doing that, let's check in with Andrew to see what's going on with him during his scout.
All right, here I am, guys, scouting once again, and checking out a different area. I haven't really walked in yet. I'm on a spur coming down. There's a real thick draw on each side, and you know, it's so hot and dry this summer. I'm hoping that maybe these thick draws will be holding the deer. So that's the game plan, checking them out, where they converge, seeing what that looks like. But I'm just concerned it's like so thick a little further ahead that I might not be able to hunt it effectively. But we'll keep going and see what we find. All right, I found a real nice trail here. Maybe you can see it better this way. Pretty clearly marked. The moss is worn right off. So that's pretty nice. And there's a couple side trails that come down. But it's really thick, as you can see, so tough to set up a tree stand, but great spot for a little ground blind setup, or not even a ground blind, but just, you know, sitting behind a tree up there. That's kind of my old-fashioned style that I started with, so might be a good spot for that. The spot I originally wanted is down at the end of the spur, so I'm gonna go check that out now too. That's more of a tree stand spot, and maybe between the two of them we'll have a big buck down. That's the plan. Funny, after seeing that big rattlesnake earlier, I'm a little bit paranoid, and once in a while this fat tree stand I'm carrying grabs the stick and pulls it along. So I hear something behind me and I look, and the stick moving around looks like it's this snake about to bite me, and I've jumped a few times doing that. So hopefully I don't step on any snakes, and it's all just in my head. Got to get up this big cliff. Not looking forward to that in this heat, but here I go.
Well, in the meantime, I met up with Jason and I said, okay, wait here. I got to go pick up Andrew. The challenge was, I didn't know where Andrew was. He wasn't at the meeting point. I was like, did he come back up the hill? Where is he? So I'm driving up and down the mountain on this dirt road looking for Andrew. Where's Andrew?
All right, this is my trail cam setup right behind me here. It's probably taking 1,000 pictures of us right now, so I'm not gonna stay here too long, but there's a real nice trail coming right down here. You can see that through the woods, and it goes across here, and then right here is kind of an old logging road. And there's a couple other trails going different directions here, and I'm looking at setting in this tree right over here. There's another logging trail that crosses here, and there's this big oak tree right here. Is it an oak tree? It's not an oak tree. An ash tree? Maybe an ash. I'm gonna sit up in that, and that's the plan. I hear Sean beeping at me, but I didn't even climb up the tree yet. So do I make him wait, or do I save this for another day? Maybe I'll be nice and run back to the car for him. All right, signing out. Catch you later.
All right, so I just drove all the way to the bottom of this mountain to pick up Andrew. He wasn't there, so I was not sure. I figured maybe he walked back to the top and just was not out of the woods when I drove down. So then I drove all the way to the back, drove all the way back to the top of the mountain, and I finally heard from him. He is now coming out of the woods at the bottom of the mountain. So now I'm driving back down, and when this chaos is done, we are going to go see if we can trick Lewis a little bit.
Well, if you are not in shape, don't hunt Maryland. Here comes my ride. It's about time. Mr. Sean McVeigh himself. Taxi! Hey, did you get the pizza I ordered?
Nope.
Oh, crap. Oh, well.
So Andrew, this is Jason. Jason, this is Andrew.
Finally meet the new guy. That's good.
The new guy.
I've been called a lot worse, but that's good.
The next thing on the agenda was to do our little prank on Lewis. If you haven't seen that already, I'll put a link to it in the description section of this video.
That's awesome.
You don't mind if I post this on Facebook?
Oh, that's so.
Well, I didn't know this when I first recruited Jason to be on the map reading challenge with us, but apparently he had a prank video that went viral, and he was even on like Jay Leno's show for it, and it's been on, you know, different shows. He's done interviews. So anyway, being that he was this sort of prankster, that's one of the reasons why I was like, all right, well, let's do a prank on these other guys. And as I mentioned in the prank video, I probably personally won't be doing that in the future. It's just not my thing. But it was kind of funny. But here is us watching this infamous prank video that Jason did right there at the scenic overlook. So that's just a little clip. From there, we had to get back to base camp, finish setting up, and we were starving. It was time to get dinner. Lewis jumps in the car and heads out first, and we're trying to follow him. Now, I was second in line, and Jason was behind me. Folks, I was gunning it. I was going as fast as I could, and I couldn't even see where Lewis was. He was so far ahead of us. Later on, Lewis said he even slowed down several times, and we just weren't coming, so he just kept going. So I don't know how fast he was going, but I certainly couldn't keep up to him. But the funny thing is, listen to this footage from Jason while I'm trying as hard as I can to catch up to Lewis, but being unsuccessful.
So I just met the guys. It seemed cool. This is going to be fun, and I'm trying to follow Sean back to camp. I'm going to have to ask him if he's a former sprint dirt track car racer or what. I'm telling you, this guy can handle these dirt corners like nothing. I'm having a hard time keeping up. I'm gonna have to tell him he's in the wrong field. He's flying.
At one point, we went around this curve, And as I came around the curve, I saw a rattlesnake stretched out across the road. I couldn't tell if I hit it or not, but I quick looked up actually in the rearview mirror, and I could see that Jason hit it dead on, pun intended. And I just pulled over at that point, and we jumped out. Did you see the rattlesnake we just ran over?
No. Oh, look at that.
Above it right now.
All I see is dust.
I mean, when I looked in the rear view, your wheels hit him square.
Dude, let's skin him.
I don't think it's legal to have him in possession.
Yeah, he's flattened.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I looked in the rear view. Like, I was like, oh, I think I just hit him. And then when I looked in the rear view, I saw your tires.
Dude, holy smokes.
I
Did you
know.
ever consider like trying out for the Sprint Cup series, the dirt track? You're freaking going around these corners sideways, and I'm
I
like,
tell him every
hey,
corner.
I'm like trying to hang on. I'm like, gosh dang, McVeigh Racing.
Every bend, I have this urge to yank the e-brake and make it back
He's still
in.
moving a little bit.
Yeah, they'll do that.
That's freaky.
Yeah, poor guy. He's done.
I absolutely hate rattlesnakes.
I know for me personally, I really wanted to keep that rattlesnake and eat it. And I know Andrew wanted to skin it and keep the skin. But I was like, look, guys, I'm trying to run a legit operation here. We have to have a permit to have a rattlesnake in our possession in the state of Maryland. We don't have that. I don't want to risk getting in any trouble. We have to leave it. You know, the raccoons are going to appreciate it, or a bear if a bear comes by, but we got to leave the snake. We can't take it. So it hurt, and I thought, man, there's a flaw to the system somehow. I mean, there's got to be some way to not waste an animal. You know, if it gets run over like that, I mean, maybe we could have called somebody to get some kind of a permit, but it was late at night, and we just had so much going on. I didn't want to risk getting in trouble or anything, so I was like, let's just go. So, Mr. Raccoon, I'm sure you had a good meal that night. So we finally make it to camp, and with the little bit of light left, I gave Jason his map reading challenge hat.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Jason, here is your map reading challenge hat, my friend. Wear it once and wear it twice if you want.
Lewis has got to sign this.
Oh yeah, we'll get a pen for that. Lewis will sign the hat. So this is just a little preliminary episode in a certain sense regarding the scout, because the next day is the real scout day. I mean, we did about an hour. It was really rushed, but we've got the whole next day to mess around and get some scouting in. Well, not the whole day, but a good chunk of it. And so stay tuned for the next episode where you get to see what we were seeing during the big part of our scout for the map reading challenge. I hope you'll stay tuned to see what we got there. And I know there's a few tips that some people are going to pick up from that video. Until then, take care and God bless.